Away from the Euros, one of the big talking points regarding transfer news, Jan tweeting this. Jan really knows this stuff when it comes to Sancho and Dortmund, saying Team Sancho thinks this is a done deal in Dortmund. Could happen next week. United know the price, 90 million euros and add-ons. They offered first 70. Gab, this looks like an inevitability.
They're obviously super confident, I think. But equally, if you're Manchester United, you know the price. I think 90 million euros is a reasonable price for Jadon Sancho. When you factor everything in, you assume they also have a deal in place, at least in principle, with the player. I wouldn't be surprised. I think Borussia Dortmund, my understanding is they said, well, whatever happens, this has to be done by the time training camp rolls around because we don't want any distractions. It's the same thing last year. So if you're United, hey, why don't you wait a little bit, make them sweat, maybe come in with an offer that's somewhere in between 70 and the 90 million that they want. But ultimately, you know that you can go to 90 million if you have to, and if Sancho's the player you want. And I think Sancho should be the player they want.
Greg, you were saying before that you think this will make United title contenders.
No, I didn't.
Especially with Ollie at the wheel.
Yeah. Well, they've got the right man in charge. Fjotov's got an infatuation with Sancho, is he? Every summer
every day he's tweeting about Sancho.
Look, this is building for the future, but I don't think it's... I personally think, I don't know what the budget is this year, whether they can still go out and buy another striker. We know Cavani's still there. But I don't think it's a player. I don't think one player will get him over the line, but I don't think this player helps the most. I think all right, they lost a bit of form, but they've got Rashford and Greenwood who can play in wide positions as well and have done. If they're blowing the most of the budget on Sancho, fair enough. I think they need to blow it on a Harry Kane type player. It's going to get you arguably close to 30 to 40 goals a year. That's going to close the gap.
Yeah. You've seen a lot of Sancho, obviously. Poor first half of the season, and then it seemed just after New Year he turned it on.
Yeah, and I mean there was some injuries in there. I mean to his credit, but you could really tell that transfer rumors the summer previous really had its issues. Yeah. And you're a young player. Look, it's completely understandable. But then I love what he did the second half, and I love what Dortmund did the second half to be able to put that run together and to be able to get themselves in Champions League. And look, if they hadn't qualified for Champions League, that price might have been 60 or 70, just because they needed to clear the books. But in the end, it looked like a player for now a year and a half that Manchester United have really looked at that it's going to help him. His form is back in. Obviously, the confidence. They can't do it to him again, can they?
No.
And kind of string this out and cause a problem. It looks like, it should be done.
Gab, but why didn't they go for Christian Pulisic?
Gab,
that's for the paranoid American viewer who thinks I don't like him. I just thought I'd throw that in there.
Gab, just on Craig's point, the first one, not the nonsense one.
What's nonsense about that? Are you saying Pulisic is not good enough for Man United?
No, he's rubbish. Right, let's talk about the fact that have they blown their budget on Sancho, or is there still a lot of money available for Solskjaer to spend, Gab?
I don't think it's only going to be Sancho. I don't think that's the budget because remember, United do have a lot of cash. They can also raise some cash from. There's a couple of players that they could possibly shift. I'm not sure that they feel, and I think they're right, that we need to go and buy Harry Kane because you're talking about a far more expensive player. An older player, a guy who turns 28 on July 28th this year. And I think they look at it and they say, well, look, if Sancho comes, between Greenwood, Martial, and Cavani, if he re-ups for another season, we've got center forwards. We've got people who can score goals for us. And if you do that, then maybe you keep your powder dry for 2022 when, as you know, Erling Haaland's release clause kicks in, when maybe other players out there might be more available than they are now. Kylian Mbappe, if he doesn't re-up, becomes a free agent in 2022. Don't think he's going to United, but he could be on the market as well. So I think in that sense, it perhaps makes sense to hold off a little bit, than to get sucked into the Harry Kane psychodrama.
Did you make it all done?
I find it a bit messy because there's so many there's so many caveats to what Gab's saying, and the lads are thinking about what's going to happen at Man U, because what I see, if Jadon Sancho signs, that's Cavani through the middle for one more year, Mason Greenwood learning off Cavani, then eventually being United's number 9 to take them forward. The trouble with all of that is, if they don't go for Harry Kane, someone else will, Man City. That's going to take Man City even further away from Man United. So Varane's been linked with Man United. I think that would be a good signing. But Sancho would be a good start. As Casey said there, and I think Gab said before, which I disagree with, when he said try and string Dortmund along a little bit. I don't think there's any point in stringing Dortmund along. Right. Dortmund have proved in the past, over the years, they will name their date, they will name their price, and if United want Sancho, they're going to have to pay it full stop.
Or you just come straight in with 200 million and get Haaland and Sancho together.
Bosh,
and go for it.
But playing the waiting game's fine if that's what... I mean, we don't know. I mean, we're just chatting
But not with Dortmund, though.
But playing the waiting game is fine if you're Man United, as long as you know you're going to get the prize at the end of it.
Sure.
The players.
Yeah.
But unless...
I don't see the value in that,
Unless
though.
they have a private agreement, you know, how the hell do we know Erling Haaland's not going to go to Real Madrid?
Particularly after last summer's drama.
Or Barcelona.
Does Dortmund really want to deal with more drama in Man U and one of their players?
I don't see the point. I think you just got to pay it. You've got to pay it, accept the price you're going to pay, and get it done.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.